This is from an old school Republican guy. Okay, you know these Republicans who are now like Republicans for Harris? There are a lot of them now. These are the old schoolers who've come over and they see Trump as this otherworldly threat. And they see that he's taken over their party and like some kind of virus has infected so many people who, again, from my standpoint, were already diseased because they were, playing the GOP tune on so many different policies that I just have really staunch disagreements with, right? I mean, the privatization of all things and government's bad and there shouldn't be regulations on virtually anything, all of these things that I would disagree with. That's your normal GOP. That's your dad's GOP. Well, now, of course, it's a totally different GOP. It's a election denying. They attempted a coup. I mean, you've got a president who actually attempted a coup, and he is still not only relevant, he may win. You have the information about Putin and him being in touch with Putin, 7 times that we know of after he left office, the providing of the COVID tests when they were like gold. You couldn't get them anywhere. He provided them to Vladimir Putin. So the bromance between Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump is something that we learn of as well. So that's the new GOP, right? They're all in the thrall of Trump, and they're marching toward perhaps a victory in November. Now, this old guy is, Mike Murphy is an old school GOP guy. Why I like this, and I'll play it for you, and then we'll get to Tom Hartman, is it does speak to the effectiveness of Donald Trump's lies, his demagoguery, and how he can really effectively bamboozle many voters in swing states, specifically Michigan. Here you go, is a little bit of from this morning.
Nationally, she's moving in the right direction. She's closing the gap on being perceived as being able to run the economy. That was Joe Biden's
talking
real
about Kamala
problem.
Harris,
He was
obviously.
double digits down on that. Now she's closed it to single. That's very good for her. She's being perceived as new, change, which is quite a hat trick since she's an incumbent. But Trump's tone is what a lot of people want to get away from. So I think she's on track to win the national vote. The question is the states. Last week, there were some bad internal polls popping around in Michigan. Got a hot Senate race there. That's tightening. All the Republican senators are creeping up a little in the competitive races. So last week was a scary week. That polling data, taken last week, we'll see if her media offensive and kind of flooding the zone, shifting from the Ming Vaz candidacy they were running, where lock waltz up, don't say anything. Now, hopefully that charm offensive will start to move the numbers back. But I would just sum up by saying Michigan, a state I've worked quite a bit, is the new Pennsylvania. There's trouble there. Trump is demagoguing the EV issue, and he's lying, by the way.
There's 20,000. Mike, just for people who aren't up to speed on what the EV issue is.
Yeah, so electric vehicles. A lot of Republicans think it's some kind of left-wing mandate. Now, I drive one, and I'm a right-wing nut because I don't like paying California gas prices. I love the damn thing. I like to drag race gas cars and beat them, and I'm a motorhead. I'm a wrenching gas guy. My lifetime average is 3 miles to the gallon. But anyway, the point is there are 20,000 new EV manufacturing jobs, auto jobs in Michigan, and it's on its way to doubling. It's the future of the auto industry worldwide. We either play or there's going to be no American auto industry. People don't even, we just took a poll on this. I do some work in the area. People have no idea that China makes twice as many cars as we do. They think we're still number one. They're eating markets all over the world. But Trump rolls in and says, and some of the leadership of the UAW makes this worse, says these EVs are going to wipe out your jobs. Vote for her. She's going to make you get rid of gas cars, not true, and wipe out your jobs. And it's working. I've encouraged the Harris campaign, which I'm publicly for. I'm one of those Romney, Bush, McCain Republicans for Harris, character building experience for a right winger like me, but we got to stop Trump, to go tell the story because nobody knows it in Michigan. They got a great story. This is the biggest boom in Georgia and Michigan in manufacturing we've had in years, yet it's a secret. I would suggest if they want to win Michigan, full offense, none of this defense stuff. Don't let Trump demagogue.
It's jobs.
There's other
at the end
stuff.
Of the day. It's jobs.
It's manufacturing jobs, which are the key to
this
metal
is the key,
states.
I
so,
think. Yeah.
we'll see. There's some time, but with early voting, We got about 12 days here, and then significant votes going to start rolling in. So this is a really key window. I will say in the national poll, all the attributes are going her way, slow but sure. That is a very good sign, but we sure need it in the metal benders. We need it in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Albert. That's all I wanted to see. I thought the takeaways on that, first of all, the thing that's not a takeaway is that she's going to win the national vote. That means, yeah, no kidding. We know that. But I thought the takeaway, and it was a good insight, was that Michigan is a state susceptible to that demagoguery, that the EVs are going to take your jobs, when actually the EV transition will produce jobs. I do think they'll coexist with combustion engines here, and I see in the chat a lot of blowback, and there was a mandate to get all these EVs, and now it's not working because there's not the infrastructure. I think that's a fair point, that the infrastructure from an electric grid standpoint is not completely in place. But that said, I think you have to pursue the mandate for electric vehicles. You do have to keep the electric vehicle evolution going, and the infrastructure will catch up. That is the way this stuff works. But I think there'll be a period during which you're going to have combustion engines coexisting with EVs. Anyway, more to the point, on the election, he's been able to create this narrative, which is that she's all about EVs. She's going to take your cars away. I mean, it's crazy. It's just like she's going to take your guns away. She's going to take your God away. It's all fear-mongering, which is really what Trump is about. And it's been effective in Michigan. And I thought that was interesting that he sees Michigan as a linchpin swing state the way Pennsylvania is, and that there is work to be done there. So,
hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell. You'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.